Welcome to Journeys of Success, our series featuring colleagues from across the Schulte Group, whose personal journeys and professional impact continue to inspire. As we mark the International Day for Women in Maritime, this episode brings a focused perspective on women in maritime and in particular, women in leadership. We will be highlighting 3 colleagues today who lead their teams with confidence and purpose, and we will explore what that means in practice. From making thoughtful decisions to creating supportive environments where people can grow and work well together. Today, 2 of our speakers represent the Schulte Group's ship management arm, Bernhard Schulte Ship Management, also known as BSM. And one is from the Schulte Group's new building arm, Schulte Maritime Concept, or S.M.C. So let me introduce the speakers. We are joined today by Olive Hautea, BSM Fleet Personnel Manager in Manila, the Philippines, Xiawei, Project Manager at Schulte Marine Concept in Shanghai, China, and Orias, Branch Manager of the BSM Cruise Service Center in Cebu. Thank you all for joining today. It's great to have you here. And let's begin and talk about your journeys. Olive, let's start with you. You have been with BSM for over 20 years. You have grown into your current role over time, starting from an entry level.
Yeah. So let me share my journey. So I started my career in the shipping industry in January 2002. I started from scratch, learning all the ropes in maritime. Over the years, I worked in different departments until I reached the position of Fleet Personnel Manager in January 2023. I have to say that to reach this position is not an easy road for me. And I am grateful for the wonderful people that surrounded and supported me. In BSM, I would say I am a classic example of breakthrough, of being able to penetrate this male-dominant industry. My skills and proficiency are gathered from practical experience, showing true form of determination and grit, strong values, and commitment to my job. So that is basically my journey, Valerie.
Thank you so much, Olive. You mentioned that seeing others succeed is one of your proudest achievements. How do you see your role as a leader in making that happen? What is your approach there?
Yeah. I am happy to see our seafarers reach the peak of their success and improve their lives and provide well for their families. My part of my job does not end when a seafarer is sent on board the vessel. I give time to listen to their aspirations and goals. I guide them on the roads to career progression and support them in the best that I can do. This is the same principle I apply to my shore staff.
Mm-hmm.
I share the same passion and vision. I try to lift them up, realize their true potentials, and achieve to become successful in their own career.
Thank you so much, Olive. I'm now moving to Savi. You say that your driving force is about choosing what is right and standing by that. Have there been situations where staying true to that principle wasn't easy at all?
Yes, there is. The shipbuilding market and the developing shipbuilding technology caused most shipyards to compress their production period a lot. When schedule keeping pressure is high, insisting on following every safety or quality check can create tension with production targets, but we do not compromise on standards. Instead of just saying no, we request our set team to help shipyard find faster ways and solutions to meet those standards. We do more patrolling inspection to locate problems in early stages, to lower safety or rework risk and re-inspections. It's a kind of time saving for shipyards. They love it.
Thank you. Savi, in your day-to-day work as a project manager, where do you feel you can make the biggest difference?
S.M.C. We have our own QMS and online project management software, which is POW&B. We PMs and set managers are compliant with it. So from the project management perspective, I don't have much difference. But as an individual, I have some. For example, the communication style, risk awareness, and the team dynamics. I'm an easygoing person. I'm willing to spend more time talking with my teams and make sure we understand each other, not just passing orders. Through my observation on site and the PAL new building system, I'm not being more afraid, but more willing to say, I don't know, or what we are missing. So I think my questions are valuable to our site team. And I'm comfortable to say, my teams like to talk to me. I can feel their trust and relaxation, and I'm trying to always helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the unique characters of women.
Yeah, so you say, especially in this very technical environment, bringing in that human element is what can make the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm now moving over to ICE because your path is quite different. You started your journey at sea and you're now leading BSM's cruise service center in Cebu. What lessons from your time on board still guide you in your current role?
First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you. Of course, this is a privilege for me to be included in this podcast. While working as a seafarer on board the ship, I witnessed countless different stories of hard work, of dedication of every seafarers. I also joined with them as a team and as a woman sailing in a male-dominated environment. I faced also a lot of challenges on board the ship. But I also found a deep sense of respect to my fellow seafarers. You know, when I was on board, I feel that respect that they've given to me. And so I also give that respect to them. And aside from that, the resilience that I have seen through all the seafarers, you know, without knowing the struggles that I have, the personal struggle, the bad weather that I experience on board ship, that despite of these experiences, the work that they've doing, they still have to complete their job. And so today, I carry those lessons from the ship that no matter how challenges the day, how tough your day is, you have to give your best in the office and make that as a lesson, whatever maybe lapses that you've made at work, still continue and give your best to do your job.
Thank you so much. And I can imagine that this is really helpful, especially in your communications with the seafarers, because they know you're one of them. And I'm sure this they highly appreciate. You speak about leadership through service and empowerment. What does this look like in practice in your team?
Actually, our branch office is quite small. I only have a very small team, but I can say that I have a very dedicated team. We handle recruitment. At the same time, we also cater our ex-crew here in Cebu. And so I always often share it with my team that work is the most fulfilling when we focus in our core purpose, which is recruiting, serving, and also supporting the needs of our seafarers. And as the one leading in the office, I always believe that the leadership will always start with me. And so I always make a priority also to listen to my team, whatever suggestions they make. Maybe they open something, and so I also have to hear their ideas because I always believe that learning is a key, a key of creating new opportunities. And, we can also learn from those.
So it's again leading by example, which I also completely believe in. Let's take a step back now and look at the bigger picture of women in maritime. And my question is, from your perspective, how has the role of women in maritime changed over the past years? And Savi, do you want to start perhaps?
Yeah. I think over the past years, women are now in the engineering, site management, and the leadership. The industry is slowly recognized that diversity improves results. Nowadays, it's easy to see women in design companies, shipyards, classification society, and site supervision teams. And in our Shanghai office, half are ladies and young ladies.
That's great development. Obviously, a shore development, which is slightly different to a seaside. Olive, what's your take?
It's really quite different. Crewing is environment and the system is quite different from 20 years ago, Valerie. And I would say that there are more women working both ashore and also on board. Women are also coming now on board. But I believe there is still room for opportunity to increase the number of female seafarers on board our ships. But it's a great improvement compared to the previous years. And I'm happy to see women empowerment, inclusivity in our culture, in our company, which really helps us to encourage, motivate females to come into this type of in this maritime business.
So we have come already a long way, but still some miles to go, basically. Ice, what's your take?
As a sea woman, I experienced rejection when I was starting. You know, you were applying to this agency and all of a sudden they will just block you. But I am just also very grateful for companies who accepted us. But, through hard work, I stay focused on showing that women are capable of this job. Over the years, I've seen a great change in the maritime, and we are actually accepted in this industry and finally recognized and are being valued. And also, I've seen a lot of organizations that are also promoting the welfare of every seafarers. I need the seafarers, women seafarers.
I think that is a really important point. And you have made this experience on board as well, which I find highly interesting. Question again to all of you. Have you had a moment where you felt you were helping to drive change yourself? Olive, do you want to start perhaps?
Yeah. In my role as fleet personnel manager, it is part of my duty to drive change. One thing I believe, change must come from me first for other people around me to follow. Good leaders are game changers and must lead as best example.
Over to you, Ice.
With my experience, actually in 2020, that's actually the height of the pandemic. And I was asked to assist all the arriving seafarers in our place. So these are seafarers coming from the different places in the Philippines. Obviously, people are just staying at home. And me, I was tasked by the company to assist. It was frightening and the fear was very, very real. You are actually frightened for your family, not only with you, but also of your team. However, I choose to see that it's a test of my leadership, that instead of letting that fear take over with me, I work hard. I work on building that courage and that I need to fulfill the job that was given by the company to me. And so I able to do it, and I able to assist around 2,500 seafarers here in Cebu. I could still remember, driving across the city street, very, very quiet because nobody's working during the time. And I'm just passing from checkpoints to checkpoints just to reach that airport. And yet I managed it. And so when I look back, I can see myself and what I'm bringing up to this time is that I able to overcome that fear, that weakness that I have. And I could also inspire my team that if I can do this, you can also do that. And that no matter what challenges that we are facing now, I think that one challenge that I had during pandemic was already on the top. And I think one also of the experience that I will never forget is that once in my life, I was once a frontliner on that time. It's COVID-19.
Yeah. So you were thrown into the cold water, and it was absolute dedication that made you overcome all the challenges.
Yeah, it was very scary, going out from places and you don't even know if the seafarers are having a COVID positive, yet you have to face them.
Yeah.
But when you see the seafarers coming, the feeling is very different. The feeling that DSM is there personally assisting the arrivals of the seafarers, give them that morale, give them that confidence that the company is there to support with them.
Yeah, that's an important point as well, I think, because you can only perform when you have the right support to see from your work. Savi, what about you?
Yeah. When I joined the S.M.C, that's 13 years ago, I started with plan approval work. I believe I did well at that time, so after 7 years, my boss made me a project manager. Of course, I got guidance from him and full support from the management and my colleagues. Now I'm the only female PM in the office, and our commercial director, HR manager, customer relationship manager are all female. Their performance is excellent. They were not in such positions when they joined. So that's how I learned doing your job right and well can quietly change what people think is possible. And it happened continuously in our company. The promotion from supervisor to deputy set manager, from deputy to set manager is good culture in our company. And the people knows somebody is watching and care about you.
Yeah, so you brought change to really hard work. No matter whether you're a woman or man, it was like the performance you delivered that made you advance and also that made you able to bring change about in your team.
Your performance made you be possible to be seen.
Yeah. And that actually goes for men and women. So we have seen that we have come a long way with women in maritime, but I think we also agree, looking at the numbers, on shore, there may be more women employed in the maritime industry, but at sea in particular, the numbers are really small. So what do you think still needs to change? If you had to pick one thing, what is it that you think should still change to continue this development in the future? Savi, do you want to start or continue?
Yeah, what needs to change? I think that's ourselves. The rapid development of shipbuilding technology and information processing technology requires us to learn new tools and use new tech to solve the real problem. So we shall keep learning new things and adjust ourselves to suit the work, the new regulation, new energy, new type of engine, many new things.
So it's a question of lifelong learning, actually. We just have to keep on learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Olive, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I do believe that there is still room for more women to join the maritime industry, specifically in the merchant vessels. So for us to do this change, we really need to engage our ship owners, our principals, and also the vessels to prepare for accepting female, prepare the ships, that the accommodation and also the readiness to ensure the safety and welfare of women will be protected while they are on board, and also ensure that the law will be equal both for men and women, and the promotion and job opportunity will be balanced and equal. It should be performance based, not based on your gender. So that is my point, Valerie.
Yeah. Still a lot of work to do in that area. Ice, what do you think?
Well, based on my experience, at the same time, talking with my fellow seafarers and women's in the maritime, I think I have to focus on to the quite uncomfortable truth, but addressing harassment on board ship. Though there are a lot of policy, but I think there should be a strong policy to implement that so that we can ensure that women can have a sustainable safe and a dignified career while working at sea.
Very important point. Thank you for raising it. With this in mind, coming to the next part, if we now close and if we look a bit ahead, Ais, what would you say to women who are considering a career at sea, actually?
Well, to the women considering a career life at sea, of course, I encourage you to embrace this extraordinary journey. You go, you see the world in a different lens. It's for free. And a lot of opportunity that awaits you from sea to shore. And of course, together we are proving that the capability, the strength of a woman are defined by character, not by gender.
Mm-hmm. That's an important one. And so you say, considering the positives and the negatives, you think it's a highly rewarding career.
Yes, of course. And navigating the ship, it's a different thing for us women. We have to really push. Though this is a different type of career path for a woman, you just have to imagine that you will be working lone on the ship. So you should always have that courage, that passion before, of course, deciding to go on board ship. But this job is a one in a lifetime career path for every woman like me.
This is really nicely said. Savi, what mindset or skills do you think will really matter for the next generation?
I will say growth mindset and engineering mindset. Don't let gender or tradition limit you. Be willing and ready to go to the shipyard to see the real steel, blocks, piping routine, pipe painting equipment, scaffolding, and to talk to the workers to solve the real problems on site. Not just stay behind a desk. The good communication and digital skills will take you far. Those who can coordinate, analyze, and stay grounded in the work will thrive. So while you are learning, be kind to yourself.
So it's both, know your stuff, but also know how to communicate it.
Yeah.
Olive, what advice would you give somebody who is just starting out in maritime today?
I did not regret that I decided to stay in this industry. So be it you're a man, you're a woman, we have all the same opportunities. So I encourage everyone to try the maritime industry, be it ashore or on board. Every day is a new day in the crewing. So many things to learn and so many opportunities. So if you are ready for the challenge, join the maritime because definitely you will learn along the way and you will gain so many insights that will help you in your personal lives as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all three of you. Despite internet connections and, being located in different parts of the world, we had nice and insightful discussion about women in maritime, where we stand and what still needs to change. We have seen your journeys. Each of them is different, but you're all connected to something similar in leadership. Your approaches of bringing in the human element, full dedication, continuous learning, and supporting others along the way. This is, I think, what brings you all together. So thank you, Olive, Savi, and Ais, for your openness, for saying things. It has been a real pleasure speaking to you. And thank you, everyone who is listening. We hope our conversation has shed a light, even in a small way, on women in maritime as we mark International Day for Women in Maritime. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.